back first to last Saturday, a draw at Brackley, a side sort of in promotion contention with yourselves. Obviously it was a bit of a chaotic end to the game, but ultimately a really solid point on the road. Lots to be encouraged by in terms of the performance, and 14 unbeaten in the league now.
I think firstly it's nice when you hear that promotion contention and it to be really real and to be in a really good position in January and have the ability to improve and continue to improve. I think that's where we reflected at the weekend on a really good point at a place that's tough to go, historically been tough to go, and a side that have got real ambitions of winning the division. Like I said after the game, thought for 25 minutes we were excellent in terms of executing what we wanted to be until we got in and around the box. And I think there's 4 big moments in the first half where with a bit more conviction, being a little bit clear about what we wanted to do, we could have had more to show than a 1-0 lead. And then Brackley actually got on top towards the end of the first half. Second half I thought was a very, very good competitive period at a tough place to go, like I say. And then it's just ridiculous, isn't it, when I've obviously had the benefit now watching the clip back and given my comments after the game on Saturday, I can't believe the clip makes it look worse than it did in real time. So not going to waste any more energy. Just had the conversation with the match officials afterwards, and I'm wasting my time making any further comment on it.
Look forward now, obviously the game against Curzon. It's a home double header coming up Saturday to Saturday with Curzon and Peterborough Sports, and a really good opportunity. You've talked obviously after a few games, the Telford game on New Year's Day as well, about wanting to improve that home form in terms of victories rather than draws and build forward. It's a really good opportunity to try and do that in these next 2.
I think you have to draw a line at some point. Otherwise, it's just one constant long run of form. So, like I've said a lot, we choose to do that over the 6 games. So, after the Telford game on New Year's Day, frustrated to drop points at home, but delighted to have got 14 from a possible 18 from those 6 games. Obviously, the Brackley away game is the first game of another 6-game block that has 3 home games, 3 away games, and back-to-back home games, which I think is important. We've been all right at home. We haven't been good, we haven't been bad, we haven't been very bad, we haven't been very good. We've been slap bang in the middle of the form table, will show that. For us to cement our aspirations of being in and around those playoff positions, we've got to have a better points return in the second half of the season in the home games than we did in the first half. So that is the reality. You want to make sure you start that real run, if you like, of home fixtures. You want to make sure you start winning those. So I've had the ability since New Year's Day to have watched every one of our home fixtures back, look for trends, what works, what hasn't worked, look for when have we been good. It's simple. Teams are going to come here and defend. That's a massive compliment. We can't give them 1-0 head starts. We can't concede goals against teams that aren't really doing much to trouble us and give them the confidence to defend. And in the same way, I'm really clear about how we can be better, more aggressive, control the game in different ways, and make sure that we aren't playing into other teams' hands. I've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed that analytical period. So look, I'm excited. I think I've had real clarity over the last 2 weeks as to what we need to be at home. We've tried to deliver a full training week, real clarity into the players, and it's an opportunity, like you say, back-to-back home games, Saturday afternoons. We'll be trying to get maximum points to, like you say, keep building forwards.
Really good opportunity as well off the field in terms of those crowds. On New Year's Day, 3,000, which was an unbelievable effort. We've had them big crowds this year. Oldham, another example. And people are seeing really positive performances and a team that are progressing really well. So I'm sure it would be nice to get another 2,000 plus perhaps attendance this weekend and really put on a show for them.
I think the last point you make there is important. We need to reward those crowds the way I feel we've rewarded some really good away followings with really positive results and, like you say, performances. At home we've threatened to do that and probably not done it often enough. There's been some brilliant the second half comeback against Kingsley, the Kettering game, has been some brilliant halves of football, the Oldham FA Cup game, but it's about results now. That's what this end of the season is, and I'm excited about our second half of the season. I'd love it if there was 2,000 plus in the Deva again, and that to become the norm. And that is something that I think this team, this group of players, there's a massive credit that they've brought that back. But we are going to need our supporters the way we've needed them on the road. We need to make sure that this place becomes I think a fortress is a cliche, but it's a place where we need to get 3 points more often than not. And the second half of the season, that'll be a huge ambition for us to ultimately achieve a bit of a more longer term ambition. So something we're quite proud of. I think the group deserve massive credit for that, and look, hopefully Saturday is another big crowd, and we'll certainly be doing our bit to make sure that we send every single one of them home happy.
Talking about that second half of the season, it is into that point now, and it sort of crept up on us quickly, and then all of a sudden it'll be March, April time, and really into that business end of the season. You must be really pleased though with that first half of the season. There's so much to build on, and ultimately so much to play for at the right end of the table.
I think it's brilliant, isn't it? I reflect after the Boxing Day game, 41 points from the halfway point of the season. If we were to match our second half of the season the way we did in the first half, we'd be comfortably in a playoff position. We wouldn't be scraping in. That's incredible. We got to remember we were 16th in the division last season. Came in late, had a really busy summer, pretty much started from scratch again. And for us to be in the position that we're in, having had some of the moments that we've had along the way, it's really, really pleasing. What I think you've seen is improvement. Like I talk about those 6 games, 7 points, 9 points, 12 points, 14 points. If we can match the level that we're at since we've improved, we're in for a very, very exciting second half of the season, and that's got to be the aim. I'm really clear that this group of players can do it. They really want to do it. There's a belief. I think that's been a big, big part that's developed, certainly over the last 10 to 15 games, that there's a belief that, you know what, we can go toe-to-toe with anyone in this division. So it is exciting, and it's an exciting place to be in. And I think when you look at the Curzon game, certainly, we have the chance to, compared to the first half of the season, to leapfrog that points total. We obviously drew our first game of the season, we won our second game of the season, we drew our lost our third game of the season. If we're able to put a win on Saturday, we'll have 5 points as opposed to 4 points, and when you're trying to match those 2 half the seasons up against each other, it makes for really, really positive reading. So there's just so much to be excited about, so much that I reflect on with real pride about what the group of players have achieved, and they've done that, and they deserve massive, massive credit. But why not? Why can't we in that second half of the season? Why can't it be us that people continue to talk about? Why can't we remain in these positions? It was doubted, if you like, earlier on in the campaign. It's in our hands now to achieve something that we all certainly believe that we can. That starts Saturday, and we're really looking forward to it.